Officially, the Wright brothers are credited with the first powered flight in history, which they allegedly completed in 1903. However, this honor belongs more to the US immigrant from Germany, Gustav Weisskopf, who successfully completed a powered flight over a distance of approximately 2.4 kilometers on June 3, 1901. This sensation can be discovered by visiting the Gustav Weisskopf Museum in Leutershausen, Germany. There, you can not only admire a flight-worthy replica of the Condor, or number 21, but also learn a wealth of facts about its builder, Gustav Weisskopf, a special man and aviation pioneer. After reading the pictures, texts, graphics, and patent drawings compiled in the museum, one is astonished to discover that the story of the world's first powered flight is told in a grossly distorted and manipulated manner. But the evidence that it was not the Wright brothers who made the first powered flight, but Gustav Weisskopf who first flew a powered aircraft, is overwhelming. For example, the museum features an old newspaper report from the respected Bridgeport Sunday Herald, which reports that on August 14, 1901, Gustav Weisskopf completed a successful flight, reaching a height of 50 feet, or about 15 meters. The Bridgeport Sunday Herald reporter also reported that the aircraft was equipped with a motorized wheel drive, which allowed Weisskopf to easily steer number 21 to a suitable airfield, where he unfolded the folded wings and made preparations for takeoff. This wheel drive also helped accelerate the aircraft. To take off, Weisskopf started the second engine, which powered the propeller. The replica of number 21 on display in the museum is equipped with a modern engine, but a replica of the engine built by Gustav Weisskopf himself is also on display. Gustav Weisskopf's comprehensive knowledge is remarkable, which he partly acquired from specialist literature by other aviation pioneers. His training as a metalworker, which unfortunately cannot be proven conclusively, came in handy when building his aircraft engines. A photo from 1903 shows him with a two-stroke engine he developed, which produced 12 horsepower and, at 54 pounds, around 25 kilograms, was so light that he could lift it effortlessly. After moving to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in 1899, Gustav Weisskopf found a job at a local steel mill. There, he worked at night building lightweight engines for his gliders. As early as 1899, he was able to fly an airplane down a street. Unfortunately, the plane crashed into a house. Had this not happened, history books would probably record that the first successful powered flight took place in 1899. Gustav Weisskopf made further powered flights just 2 years later, in 1901. In the 1930s, journalist Stella Randolph was able to track down 11 people who sworn to have seen with their own eyes how Gustav Weisskopf flew number 21. In July 1945, the widely read monthly magazine Reader's Digest, based on the witness statements and research by Stella Randolph published in book form, named Gustav Weisskopf as the man who first flew. In view of the overwhelming facts, the question arises why the Smithsonian Institution refuses to recognize Weisskopf as the first aviator, instead awarding this honor to the brothers Orville and Wilbur Wright. The scandalous reason is a contract from 1948, which only became public in 1978. This contract precisely defines the museum's stance regarding who achieved the first powered flight. It obligates the museum never to claim that anyone before the Wrights achieved the first powered flight. Thus, a museum is contractually forced to misrepresent the story of the first motorized flight. However, based on the many pieces of evidence, the American state of Connecticut recognized Gustav Weisskopf as the father of aviation as early as 1968. On July 1, 1903, the Topeka State Journal rightly celebrated Gustav Weisskopf as America's Santos Dumont. He was a world-famous aviation pioneer at the time. And in 2013, in the 100th edition of the book IHS Jane's All the World's Aircraft, it was corrected that the Wright brothers were not the first to take to the skies in a motor-powered aircraft, but that Gustav Weisskopf was the world's first motor aviator. And he was also a jack of all trades when it came to aircraft construction. Around 1911, he worked on building a multicopter and even built a prototype with 60 propellers. The design is strikingly reminiscent of today's modern drones and air taxis, which also have multiple propellers. A visit to the Gustav Weisskopf Museum is therefore a must for all those who want to find out who really was the first person to fly a motorized aircraft. And along the way, you can learn a lot about aviation. Many other aviation pioneers are presented in text and images. You can test your skills on a flight simulator. And there are very interesting experiments available that explain the physics behind the mystery of flying.